All right. Welcome to the Extra Point Podcast presented by Beauty Counter. We had a rough week. Both of us had a rough weekend, I think.
Hey, you know what? It was week one of football, though. It was week one.
Thank you. That makes me feel better. That makes me feel a lot better. Thank you. Football's back. We got a quick.
We got one more game today.
Yeah. So let's recap this and then watch that one. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's rip the Band-Aid off for myself. Saints, Packers. Give me a minute.
That was a tough one. I mean, they're a good team, though. Saints are definitely a good team. There's no doubt about it.
Jameis was 14 of 20 for 148 yards and 5 tuds. Now, there's so much that I said. We can honestly do the whole episode on this game right here.
But we're not going to.
Yes, we're not going to, thankfully. It's an anomaly. I believe it's an anomaly. The Saints, I think Sean Payton he didn't love when Drew Brees, we all love Drew Brees. Of course, we want him to be in there. But I think sometimes when Drew Brees wasn't in there, I think Sean Payton enjoyed the creativity with Teddy or Taysom or now Jameis. I think he enjoys that. The Packers defense, they were tired. Zadarius Smith only played 18 snaps because he had the back injury, but the defense was tired. Offense couldn't get anything going. Now teams are going to use this against the Packers down the road. That's what teams have done. It wasn't great. And luckily it's only week one. And luckily for the Packers, they face the Detroit Lions at home on Monday Night Football next week. So it's an excuse for me to watch. Well, it's not an excuse. It's just a way for me to watch my team get back on track in front of the whole world, in prime time. So they'll be able to rebound next week. Not the way you wanted to start off the season because, again, the Saints are a good team. We saw that. Their offense was great. Their defense was phenomenal. But they're going to play the Niners. They're going to play the Steelers, the Chiefs, the Seahawks. They're going to play some tougher teams, in my opinion. And this, again, it's week one. It was hot. I think Aaron Andrews said it was close to 100 degrees on the field. I mean, I don't know if heat played a factor, but they weren't in sync. And, again, it's week one. And luckily, the entire NFC North lost. So, again,
the Lions came back in that second half.
They did.
Their game against the 49ers.
They did. I saw the highlights. I saw Fox would tune into that game and stuff, but I didn't see it. But they never gave up, which is pretty cool from that Dan Campbell team. But basically, all in all, it's just the Packers will have those, they'll lose 3 or 4 times a year or whatever. And that's one of those games, or maybe there might be 2 games where they get killed on the road. It just happens. I don't know why it happens, but it always does. Look for them to get back on track next week against the Lions, who gave up 41 to the Niners. The Saints, phenomenal. I don't think anyone expected the Saints. If anyone was going to throw picks, it was going to be Jameis, not Aaron. But it was an anomaly game. We're not going to sit here and take shots at the players' characters at the player's character because they lost. We're not Skip Bayless or some other Yahoo. But Saints deserved. Saints were, again, they outclassed the Packers and they earned that win for sure. I'm gonna go Bears Rams. We can rip the Band-Aid together. You talk.
Might as well rip it off.
Yeah, you
talk.
So
I thought it was a pretty good showing. It was quite the opposite of what we're normally used to for Bears football. It kind of looked like our offense was taking some decent control, minus the Andy Dalton pick right away.
Mm-hmm.
The defense, though, Eddie Jackson is just getting worse and worse by the year. Can't tackle. Wasn't around any coverage for about 99% of the plays.
Yeah.
It all just went downhill, really fast. They were in it for most of the game, and then it hit the fourth quarter, and then the Rams were like, you know what, let's just step on their throat and put them down. But hey, bright spot, my guy David Montgomery right here, rushed for 108 yards and a touchdown, looked very good. Andy Dalton still threw for 206. Had the one interception, but he didn't kill us, which was nice to see. Jalen Ramsey, though, I told you this from the start. He's just a beast, and he was all over the field.
He is I saw him take on. It was the play. It was like in the fourth quarter. I think Dalton hit Jimmy Graham like inside the 5 on a first down, and Ramsey like sized him up and pushed him back. I mean, Jalen Ramsey's strong. I guess I forgot about that. But he's a big time corner. He's big, and he's not going to back down from anyone. He might be a pain in the ass because of his trash talking, but he's that's what he wants, and he is very good. And he, the Rams. I will say Dalton. I caught the second half and part of the first half. I didn't see it entirely, but was the interception Dalton threw? Was it tipped? Or...
It was tipped, but it didn't really seem like it was going in the general direction of any of the Bears players. Now, right. I could see where he was probably throwing it to Montgomery in the corner, but then it just got redirected. But yeah, there was Mooney and then Montgomery, and then the ball just seemed to go right here, at least after the tip. Yeah. So I don't know how much, because I didn't fully look into it, but it wasn't the greatest. And it was the first drive. I mean, we could have come back from it. The defense could have definitely stepped up a little bit. But you know what?
Stafford.
He's been legit all along. I mean, we've been saying it. We both have been saying it. He's been legit all along. It's just his teams that he's been around, and with the Lions, he just never got that fortunate. He never got the fortunate end of the spectrum where he has that defense and he has all the pieces around him. Now, yes, he's had Calvin Johnson and some other massive pieces around him, but they've never been a full team. Now he's got a full team. Now he's got this full team. They're complete, and I'll tell you what, they're gonna be dangerous going down the stretch.
Yeah, I don't want to. They're coming to Lambeau, so we'll see what happens there. But they're McVay and I think McVay and Stafford. I think it was after their final touchdown. They were like, McVay was like, grabbing his helmet and like, doing that or whatever, just to kind of mess with them. But they're in the zone. It's week 1, but like they're in the zone already. So dangerous. Justin Fields scored, which is
yes, he did. Yes, he did. He got in for a few run plays.
Yeah.
He threw the one good ball. If I'm not mistaken, it was to Mooney. If I'm not mistaken, threw a ball out to the right against Jalen Ramsey was in coverage right there, which was what I like to see. Going right after him, threw that perfect strike.
Wasn't he 2 for 2? I think he 2 for 2 for 10 yards or something. Solid. That's all you can do when they give you the plays. Like, that's what you gotta do.
The other one that was considered a pass was a little flip inside. It went nowhere. So he really only had the one real pass, and the other one was just a RPO. They got the shovel pass in, but you know what? I'll take what I can get right now. I think the offense is definitely looking a lot better, but it's not 100% where we want it to be at yet. Which is a bright side compared to the last few years where we've been saying, this defense has been on the field and, we're not controlling possession. Now, the other thing about this game that I did not like was a few of the fourth and short situations. All right, I understand. But 4th and 15, and they decide to try and go for the first down.
I
did not understand that.
What was they weren't there? I think was there 10 minutes left, and they were down by 2 possessions. 20-7. I don't know what was the score. I can't remember what the score was. I think it was 2. It was a 2-possession game.
It was a 2-possession game,
but a field goal, it would have stayed a 2-possession game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would have even taken a punt for the field possession. Just getting them down inside their own 5 for the first time instead of having them out at the 40 where Stafford can just do his nice little bootleg and throw a post route to one of his fast receivers that our defensive backs were 10 yards away from. I mean,
Cooper Kupp was money. I mean, I think Kupp and Woods together, I really do believe they complement each other so well. They can both line up in the slot, outside, whatever.
And Jefferson too, to add to that.
What, he had like 2 catches for like 72 yards or something like ridiculous.
Yeah. And then they also have Deshaun Jackson for deep threat as well.
Forgot about him. They have a squad. McVay and Stafford are going to have that thing rolling. Browns Chiefs. Did you caught that game, right?
I did watch that game. That was a good game.
Yeah, great game. Browns had a 12-point lead. They just kind of Browns it. They kind of choked. Did you know since they came back into the league in '99, they are 1-22 and 1 or 1-21 and 1 in opening day games, or it's crazy. I mean, look, they blew the lead, and Baker, he was trying to throw the ball away. I think he got hit though, got picked.
I thought that same thing. He was trying to throw the ball out of bounds, and he just couldn't get enough power under it because he was going down to the ground.
Mm-hmm. I think it was one of those games where, like, had they played in Cleveland, I think the Browns would have not destroyed them, but I think they would. I mean,
the other big factor into that game was the punter dropping that snap.
Yes, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And so, I mean, that was field possession. That Chiefs got the ball at what, 20-yard line or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's just an easy score for them at that point in time. So that put them back on top, and then Baker threw the pick, and that was game over. I mean, the Browns really had a good shot at winning that ball game.
It kind of reminds me. I mean, it's one of those games where it's just like, if you're a Browns fan, you're like, how did we get here? Like it was kind of like not the playoffs last year when they played, because the Browns were never really like they had a chance to beat the Chiefs, definitely, because they had the ball. They could have won the game. We all know what happened, but it's one of those games where it's like, like, how do we get in this position? Like, I remember, I will use my team as a reference, the Green Bay Packers against the Seahawks in 2018. It was a Thursday night game. The Packers, it felt like they got a fumble recovery early. I don't know if you remember it was Robert Tunyon's first touchdown catch. It was like Rodgers goes outside the pocket and throws a rocket to Tunyon. And it's one of those plays, it was just one of those games where the Packers were like, they were, handling the time of possession. Like they were in the lead. And then all of a sudden it's like, Seahawks are in front. If we don't get this first down, we're probably punting, and we're not going to stop them. And it did. Like, that stuff just happens where it's like you're dominating. It was the same thing with the Packers Rams too earlier that year, where the time Montgomery fumble, like the Packers were beating the Rams, but it's like, how do we not win that game? So I felt that same way about the Browns. Like, they're up 12, had a chance, and sometimes it just happens, which it sucks. But I think the Browns are certainly, look, we all know the Browns right now, this team is certainly light years ahead of what they've been in the past, where they just plain suck. They certainly have a squad, so they'll get back on top for sure, no question. Tyreek Hill had 11 catches, 197 yards, and a tud. So,
yeah, he was running loose.
Lethal. Dolphins Pats. Did you catch any of that game? That was probably the game I did not catch a ton of.
Dolphins Pats.
Yeah,
I watched a little bit.
What happened
at
the end?
Though, I didn't watch the end.
Yeah. Mac Jones was 29 of 39 for 281 yards and a touchdown. Pretty solid for a
wasn't he like the first rookie to throw for like 70+%?
Yeah.
In his first game.
Just really solid. Tua had like a Tua type of game, like 16 of 27, 202 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. It was one of those great defense. It was a defensive game. Again, that's what I got from seeing some of the highlights and stuff. But it was like Belichick and Flores going. Flores is a disciple of Belichick, so they know each other so well. And I believe Flores is the only Belichick assistant to face Bill 3 times at least and have an over 500 record. So, that's, if you can go up to, regardless of what the team is like, if you can go up to New England and beat Bill and the Patriots, certainly something, has to be said about, how good your team is. And I think the Dolphins, we'll see. Again, Tua didn't have a great game, didn't have a terrible game, just didn't have a great game. And we'll just see what happens down the road, because we know the Dolphins, they kind of been in this position where they can be contenders, but they haven't really capitalized. So we'll see. Patriots are going to be like, again, it's not like it was a 1-point game. So Patriots are better than, judging by week 1, it's overreaction Monday, whatever. But I think the Patriots are going to be better this year for sure.
they're in a much better spot than they were last year. That's for sure.
Definitely. Broncos Giants. I thought this game was fascinating because these were two teams with, I think, offenses with like, a lot of talent, like great capabilities. And the defenses, like Broncos, obviously, I think have a top 10 unit. Giants, I don't know exactly what they are yet. But Denver, I mean, Teddy Two Gloves, Teddy B, Teddy Ball Game, 28 of 36, 264 yards, 2 tuds. Melvin Gordon, 11 rushes, 101 yards, and a touchdown. I think him and Javonte Williams are going to be a nice little compliment to each other. Nice duo. Yeah. And then Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones threw a couple touchdowns, or he didn't have a turnover, but Saquon rushed the ball 10 times for 26 yards. They only put up 13 points. I mean,
he was also on a snap count, though.
That's true.
Coming off his injury, so we're trying to be careful about that.
That's true.
It's 17 game season this year. Mm-hmm. You got to keep your star of the future nice and not nice and healthy because it's not fully healthy yet. But you got to try and do your best to make sure that you can have him so that you can do your best to win most of these games.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Got to get healthy for let's the Packers. Sorry, I'm gonna use another Packers reference. Bakhtiari, like that's why some guys who are kind of close before the season starts, put them on IR, put them on early season IR, out 6 weeks, get them rested for the long haul. So, but it's good to see Saquon back and healthy. I think Denver, though, I'm excited about Denver. Again, they're one of those teams. It's like, okay, like because I don't have a reason to hate them or a reason to root for them. I think they're interesting. So you never know, but I think Teddy certainly has a, steady hand. Teddy steady, and I think in the pocket, he's going to be solid for them. Vikings Bengals. This one, it was I think a fantastic game. Did you get that game as well?
This was probably my game of the week.
I was mad because the game kept going on, and so it was an overtime. And Chris Myers on Fox is like, yeah. So in a moment, we're gonna for the people who don't live in Cincinnati or Minnesota, we will send you to America's Game of the Week, which is Packers Saints. Of course, 10 minutes later, they just decide to play the whole overtime and prolong it, which pissed me off. But it's all right. It didn't really work out because the Packers lost by 35. But Vikings Bengals, Kirk Cousins, brought them back. The Bengals, I think, controlled most of the game. Captain Kirk, 36 of 49, 351 yards, 2 tuds. Yep. But Joe Burrow, man, welcome back. 24 of 27, 261 yards, 2 tuds. Jamar Chase certainly kind of put those drop woes to rest. 5 catches, 101 yards, and a touchdown. Joe Mixon. He
had the one big bomb for 50 yards for the tutty.
Yeah, that was massive. Joe Mixon, 29 rushes, 127 yards, a touchdown. I'm starting to, maybe this could be without Giovanni Bernard. Now he's in Tampa. This could be Joe Mixon's coming out party. People have been saying he's a top 10 back. I haven't seen it. I don't know. And maybe we'll see it this year.
Joe Mixon's been really solid when he's been healthy. It's just his health concerns. He'll get halfway through the season and then he'll be out for a week and then he'll come back and they'll be out for a week. And so I'd like to see him fully healthy for a year just so that we can actually see his full potential because when he's on the field, he's definitely a playmaker. He's very, very good at what he does in running the ball.
Yeah.
But we just haven't seen a full season of it. So it's hard to gauge whether or not he's one of the top 10 backs or not.
I think Minnesota this game proved they're a 9-7 team. That's what they are. Inconsistent. They made a comeback. Kirk got them in position for Joseph to hit that game-tying field goal, and they had their chances, but they were just inconsistent. Now Anthony Barr didn't play. Starting linebacker is pretty good. Didn't play. I think the defense is still waiting to get their footing because you bring in a new piece like Patrick Peterson, Bashad Breeland, Michael Pierce comes back from the COVID list. Your Eric Kendricks is finally back healthy. So they have some pieces again. Danielle Hunter's back healthy. They have a team. Again, it's week 1. I think Minnesota is a better team than Cincinnati, yes, but it's week 1. Anything can happen. I think Cincinnati, it was, again, they just kind of, I don't know how to say it. I think they were just too inconsistent. And Kirk had a good game. Dalvin Cook didn't rush. He had, let me look up the stats here, the stat sheet. He had 20 rushes for 61 yards. So not a great 3.1 rushing average. I expect more from Dalvin Cook. Now the Bengals defense brought it. Again, I know Trey Hendrickson. They signed Trey Hendrickson from the Saints in the offseason. Larry Ogunjobi from the Cleveland Browns. They got some push. And I think Kirk, again, they didn't force Kirk into a turnover, but I think certainly the defense stalled the Vikings offense for a number of drives. So Cincinnati, I mean, I know it's week 1. Look out for Cincinnati. You never know.
Yeah, one of the bright spots for that Cincinnati defense, I thought, was Jesse Bates, the safety.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's not a pro or a Pro Bowler. Yeah,
he's one of the two, but I mean, he showed why. He showed why in that game. It didn't matter the game. It didn't matter where Minnesota was at. You basically saw Jesse Bates was around that football, whether he was making tackles or not. I mean, he was always around that football, and that's something that you always want to see from your safeties. So
sorry, I interrupted.
No, go ahead. I interrupted. I was basically done anyways.
We don't want to end up like, remember a couple episodes ago when I interrupted you and you forgot, or I forgot what you forgot what you were saying. We don't want that again. So just
I was basically done anyway. So go ahead.
Okay. But yeah, Jesse Bates, I think, might be the best defensive player. I think on the Bengals, certainly. He said, I think he's the leader anyway. But we'll see. Are you nervous for next week?
I don't know. I think it's kind of going to be like this game that we just saw from the Vikings and the Bengals. I think it's going to be one of those types of games. I think the Bears and the Vikings almost look equivalent at this point. The Vikings probably have the better defense, but the Bears look like they have the better offense as of right now as a whole. To go back to the Bears, one other thing that I want to see them do in the future is throw the ball past 10 yards.
That's a dream.
I think if they did it once, it was that was it. They didn't have any downfield attacks. Now, granted, that comes with playing the Rams, but at the same time, I mean, at some point in time, you have to take a shot.
Yeah.
You just have to.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be a good test. Like Cincinnati, they're kind of a question mark. Like what they did to the Vikings, like they're, and that's dangerous. I think like I playing a team that's a question mark. Like look what happened to the Packers. The Saints are kind of a question mark. We didn't know what Jameis was going to do, and they came out and ran the Packers under the stadium. So that'll be a good matchup for sure. Jaguars Texans, man. Trevor Lawrence kind of played like a rookie, threw 3 picks. Tyrod Taylor, though, he was 21 of 33 for 291 and 2 tuds. Brandon Cooks, 5 catches, 132 yards. That's an average of 26.4. Even Mark Ingram had kind of a rebirth. 20 rushes for 84, 85 yards and a touchdown. David Johnson got into the receiving game as well. I mean, I know it's the Jaguars, but like I thought the Jaguars were going to win. Houston, pretty good.
Pretty good, but also facing the Jaguars.
Exactly.
It's week 1.
Exactly.
I'm not going to discredit it. I mean, they're all professionals, and
it's a game.
When we were going over these games last week, I told you it's going to be the experience that helps the Texans win this ballgame. And sure enough, it was the experience of the Texans that helped them win this ballgame.
Okay, we should just create a segment called I Told You So, because most of the shows, it's always, I told you this was going to happen. Okay, fine, whatever. So Travis was right about that game. We'll mark that one down. Niners, Lions. Talked about this before we came on here. Lions came back. Lions gave it a good fight in the end. Niners were just too much. Jimmy G recovered from an early fumble, 17-25, 314 yards and a touchdown. Trey Lance got in there and threw a touchdown in the red zone. So big injury for Raheem Mostert, out 8 weeks with what is being, I believe it's knee cartilage, like torn knee cartilage or something. So Elijah Mitchell came in, 19 rushing attempts for 104 yards and a touchdown. We're going to see a lot of Trey Sermon down the stretch here. Jared Goff threw the ball 57 times for 335 yards. And he threw a pick six. So Lions, impressive. They put up 33 points. Obviously it was kind of towards the end. We'll see if that, like, I feel like that's not a big deal necessarily I'm talking about for the Niners. I know they lost. I made a big deal about Sherman not being there, Salah gone. Maybe they just kind of called it in, or they phoned it in a little too early. Who knows? But I mean, the Niners, great rushing attack. I don't know. It's week one. Like it's hard to, that's what I love about the NFL too. It's like a win is a win. It doesn't really matter how you do it. So like, again, Niners won, they put up 41 points. The offense is still going to be a juggernaut as long as Shanahan's the head man. Garoppolo recovered from an early turnover.
It's very easy to overreact to week one.
Yeah.
Because we just haven't seen anything. And now this is the first time that we're seeing anything. So I think the Niners, hey, if they can play like they did for the first half throughout an entire football game, I think they're going to be dangerous. That might be one of my other I told you so.
Week 4 should be. I believe it's week 4. Packers Niners in the Bay should be interesting. Should be a good game. Yeah, let's hope. Panthers Jets. Panthers won 19-14. Darnold looked relatively comfortable. 24 of 35, 279 and a touchdown. McCaffrey, 9 catches for 89 yards. That's who he is. Always in the passing game. Very, very dominant. Robbie Anderson had 1 catch, but it was for 57 yards and a touchdown. That's where I think he's going to be explosive. Deep ball. Him and Darnold had that going in New York. DJ Moore had 6 catches for 80-something yards. Again, it was week 1, and playing a Jets team with Robert Saleh as the head coach. Big emphasis on defense. And I think I didn't watch most of the game, but judging by the stats and the score and some of the highlights, Jets defense did pretty well, but obviously their offense couldn't get it going. I know Zach Wilson, pretty decent day, 258 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception, kind of a rookie type of day. Better than Trevor Lawrence anyway. So not much to say. These are two kind of, I don't know if I call the Carolina Panthers rebuilding. It's tough. It's week 1. The Jets are certainly rebuilding. I don't know about Carolina yet, but Carolina's the better team. I think they proved it. They just cashed in on more opportunities. I
don't have much to say about this one. I mean, this is
pass.
Although, hey, the best thing about the game that I saw, which is about the only thing that I saw, was the little graphic that they had for before the game where that Panther jumped up and grabbed the flag and brought it down, ripped it up, and then jumped out. That was actually pretty cool.
The Ravens did that last year.
Yeah. I think we'll have to see what happens in the coming weeks for the Panthers. I mean, Darnold definitely played well, but I still not sold that he's going to be, the future.
Yeah.
Wilson in his highlights didn't look terrible. But again, he's still got room to grow, and they're definitely rebuilding. So
yeah, Carolina's going to face tougher competition, I think. No doubt. Cards Titans. This one was interesting. Kyler, 289 yards, 5. Well, I mean, the score wasn't interesting, but I think it's, Kyler, like the Arizona Cardinals went off. Kyler, 289 and 5 touchdowns. Chandler Jones, early defensive player of the year.
Yep.
Right now, candidate, 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. Titans got nothing going. Derrick Henry had 17 rushes for 58 yards. Tannehill, just barely over 200 yards. I think he threw a pick. AJ Brown got a touchdown, which was nice. But my fantasy team. But they just, you see Mike Vrabel. I don't know if you saw Mike Vrabel bad-mouthing Julio. Or not bad-mouthing him, but they asked him about like the Julio personal foul. And Vrabel's like, yeah, we don't teach that. That cannot happen. And he just kind of laid into him about it. Which is, I think you want that from your head coach. And Vrabel's a very tough-minded head coach. And you got to have that response. And, there were a couple, we're not finished, recapping this stuff, but I mean, Packers, Browns, Titans, Bills, a lot of teams, kind of didn't have it this week, which is kind of surprising. No. But yeah, I mean, Cardinals, I've been saying that. I don't know why people aren't on the Cardinals. I think their offense is electric and their defense is going to be better.
Yeah. Kyler Murray was playing a video game out there, it seemed like. I mean, it was just one of those types of days. But I mean, that's another thing that we've been talking about as well, is the Titans defense is just not
bad.
It's not that good. So
yeah,
Kyler took, I mean, good for him. He took all advantage they could for that game, and he rolled with it, man. That was a dominant performance by him.
That's why I do not want to go out to Arizona a couple days before Halloween, but the NFL schedule says the Packers are going out to Arizona a couple days before Halloween, so that's going to be horrifying. But we'll talk about that later. Eagles Falcons. They surprised me. Nick Sirianni, wow. Jalen Hurts, 264 yards, 3 tuds. Devontae Freeman, 6 catches, 71 yards, touchdown. Falcons kind of the same thing as the Titans. Couldn't really get anything going. Matt Ryan had 185 yards or 184 yards, whatever. No touchdowns. I mean, yeah, Eagles. This is a matchup of two rebuilding teams too. Eagles showed out. They showed their potential, and they, again, Hurts and Devontae Smith, man. I mean, nice young duo there they got.
Yeah. And then you had Sanders in the backfield too. I mean, those three together, if they can stick together and then build up from there, I think they can definitely build a squad out there in Philadelphia. But
Goddard.
I think it's good. Yeah, Goddard, Ertz. I mean, there's some pieces there. It's just we'll have to see how everybody gels together and how the front office can mesh with the coaching and the coaching can mesh with the players and everything else. But hey, week 1 they showed true potential. I mean, they're not going to go down without a fight, and they ended up winning that game. It was a good game.
It's games like Eagles, Falcons, Panthers, Jets, like Niners, Lions. It's like Texans, Jaguars. There's not much to say because we haven't, again, it's week 1 for all these teams and stuff. So we don't it's hard to say, good for the Eagles, but again, they played the Falcons. So I thought the Falcons were going to win, but the Eagles just ran them out of the stadium. And that was surprising to me. I thought the Falcons had more in them, but yeah, I mean, that's going to be interesting to see Hurts and Sirianni as they kind of gel together as a head coach and quarterback duo. Steelers Bills, kind of another puzzler not a puzzler. Pittsburgh won this game with defense, and not necessarily I don't know if there's such a thing as flashy defense. They just stalled the Bills' drives. I mean, the Bills only put up 16 points. This is an MVP candidate, Josh Allen. I mean, stalled drives. Big Ben looked younger, thinner. Deontay Johnson made a nice catch on the boundary. Was able to catch part of it. I mean, Steelers made plays, man. Steelers made plays on the defensive side, and the offense. Chase Claypool made a nice snag going up and getting it, kind of a you got Moss. I'm sure we'll see some of that tonight from Randy on Monday Night Countdown. But yeah, I mean, I think the Bill, again, it's week 1, and Mike Tomlin's a fantastic coach. It's not like a bad loss. It's just, it's like the Packers. Sorry, keep bringing up the Packers. But it's just you expect these teams to come out firing. It's week 1. You expect them, the Bills are, sitting and stewing, after their loss to the Chiefs in the championship game. You'd think they'd come out with their hair on fire. They didn't. I mean, I thought they did after the first opening kickoff. I thought they'd come out on fire. They didn't. And the Steelers, again, Tomlin and Big Ben, you got to trust them. They, fantastic.
Teams. Another special teams came up huge with the block punt.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's a well-coached team. The Steelers might not win the Super Bowl, but they're well-coached. I mean, just because you go 9-7 or this year 10-7 or whatever, or 9-8, that doesn't mean you're well-coached. And Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, they've always been that. They've always been very solid, very formidable. Seahawks Colts. This is a matchup of 2 playoff teams a year ago. Interesting matchup. And basically, I came out of this game with 3 words. Let Russ cook. Him and Lockett. Outside, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams are clutch. They are clutch, but it's like Russ and Lockett are like they're like a more athletic Brady and Edelman. Like I think Lockett is quicker than Edelman. And he can run. I mean, like you can't get what I'm saying a little bit. Like Lockett for years has been this for Russ. I think he's the most underrated receiver in the game. I mean, that nice over the shoulder. It's like an outfielder, like in center field. I've seen plenty of those. Like it's like Willie Mays Hayes from Major League or something. Something crazy like Lockett's that. Metcalf scored, I think he had 4 catches for 60 yards, I want to say, and a touchdown. I could be wrong. But again, the offense was rolling, and the Colts were a top 5 defense a year. Like they were solid. But the Seahawks, made
kind of played out like the Bears and the Rams. Because Lockett was just running all over the place and just was getting whatever he wanted. And that was basically any of the Rams receivers. And
did I say Saints?
No. What?
Okay, so I thought I said Saints. I'm sorry. Sorry.
No.
I want to have all my facts right.
But no, the Colts are, like you said, they were a top 5 defense, top 10 defense from year prior, and they got most of their guys back. Now, yes, they were missing Xavier Rhodes, but I mean, that's only one piece of the puzzle. And it just looked like the Seahawks had full control of this game from snap one all the way until clock read 0-0-0 in the fourth quarter. So.
Yeah. The entire NFC West feels the same way that the NFC North does, except on different sides. The NFC West is like, let's go. We're all 1-0, except we're all tied. The NFC North is, it's just we're all tied, but we all lost. But Seahawks, man, look very, very, very solid. Chargers, Washington, big news. Fitzmagic put on IR with a hip injury, out 6 to 8 weeks. Gonna have to rely. Well, this is great. Not the injury. It's Taylor Heineke time. Taylor Heineke time. I have been a fan of his ever since the playoff game, and it's his time now. And I'm sure all those people in the building are going to be super psyched for him because it's his time. In regards to the game, I don't have the stats in front of me, or I could pull them up. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Jared Cook were, amazing. Keenan Allen, 9 catches, 100 yards. Mike Williams, 8 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown. Jared Cook, 5 catches, 56 yards. That could be a nice. I'm telling you, I really like the addition of Jared Cook. I know he's a little older now. I think he's in his mid-30s. Still a very serviceable tight end, very good. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, very great duo. And again, you have Balcow and Eckler, who was able to play, and they were able to muster it. This was a tough game. Washington is a great defensive team. I talked about that. Chase Young, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, they have a squad. But Chargers were able to, toughen it out and beat them out in kind of a not a shootout, but it was kind of a grinded out type of game, and they did that.
Yeah, it was definitely a grinded out type of game. Chargers only won 20-16, so it's not like Chargers just were manhandling them. But I definitely say that the 3 main guys that you just said, Allen, Williams, and Cook, they all played very, very well. Eckler played very well himself. But yeah, Taylor Heineke, we're gonna have to see what he shows now that he's gonna get full preparation for all the reps with the ones and gonna be the starter from here on through the next 6 to 8 weeks at least.
It's his time. It's his time, and I'm excited for it. I'm here for it. Let's go. Sorry for the people at home. That was not a nice word I said, but I'm fired up for him. I think he deserves a fair shot, and he's got it. I'm fired up.
That's why they paid him.
What's that?
So that's why they paid him.
Oh yeah, damn right. That's why they brought him back. So those are all the games that we recapped. Raiders, Ravens tonight. We picked it on Thursday. You and I both have the Raiders winning tonight. I believe tonight, I think the Raiders play up. Well, so they play up and they play down to the competition. They beat the Chiefs last year, but they shouldn't have lost, or they shouldn't have beaten the Jets last year, and they did. They did. They almost lost to the Jets before the Jets kind of caved and then just decided to let the Raiders score the touchdown. They play up to the competition. They play down to the competition. I think tonight, first home game with fans in the Death Star in Allegiant Stadium. I think Derek Carr, Darren Waller are going to have that connection rolling. Josh Jacobs is playing. He was questionable with an illness, but he's feeling better today, and I expect him to play and play well. And I think the Raiders defense is going to make some plays. I really do. Again, the Ravens running attack, obviously all the injuries, the freak injuries, no Gus Edwards, and obviously no J.K. Dobbins. We know that. Marcus Peters on the defensive side blew out his knee. He's done for the year. So we're going to see Tyson Williams, Le'Veon Bell, and Latavius Murray go for it, see what they do. But, I think the Raiders are going to make some noise on the defensive side. Max Crosby, who's an up-and-coming star, I think. Yannick Ngakoue, they signed him from the Ravens. They got Casey Hayward from the Chargers. They just signed KJ Wright. So I think some of the veterans are going to make some noise here, and I like the Raiders to come out with a W.
Absolutely. I think the Ravens are going to try and find their running game. Mm-hmm. Lamar's definitely a massive help with that. But, you signed Lev Bell, you signed Latavius Murray. They're going to try and have to come in and figure everything out, figure out the playbook, and figure out the entire system. But I think the Raiders, Darren Waller is going to step up big. Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. Hunter Renfrow, X Factor.
Yep, absolutely.
Should we, before we head out, should we tally up our week 1 predictions and see what the records are? I made notes.
9-5 so far.
You're what?
I'm 9-5 for week 1.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, time out. Let me check mine. Buccaneers. I picked that one.
So you're 1-0.
Niners. Okay. I got the Bucs right. Got the Niners right. 2-0. We both picked the Titans. So I'm 2-1. Washington 2-2. Falcons 2-3. Shit. Jaguars Texans 2-4. Damn. Jets Panthers. Okay. 3-4. Seahawks Colts 4-4. Steelers Bills. Okay. 4-5. Packers Saints 4-6. Vikings Bengals 4-7. Broncos and Giants
5-7.
Yeah, 5-7. Browns 5-8. Dolphins Patriots 5-9. Bears and Rams 5-10. Ravens and I'm 5-10. Are you kidding me? Wait, how are you 9-5?
No. I think I'm 10-5. Buccaneers 1-0. 49ers 2-0. I chose the Titans 2-1. Chose the Chargers for 3-1. Chose the Eagles for 4-1. Texans 5-1. Panthers 6-1. Seahawks 7-1. I chose the Bills 7-2. Vikings 7-3. Broncos 8-3. Chiefs 9-3. I chose the Patriots 9-4. Chose the Packers 9-5. I chose the Rams 10-5.
So we are polar opposites. So basically, our result does not matter tonight. Okay, so 10-5, 5-10. So are we gonna? So as the season goes on, are we gonna base? Is it who wins the week, or are we just gonna tally up all the records or at the end?
Let's tally up the records. Let's have fun.
It's too much math for me. Okay, so
there's a calculator on your phone.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about my 5-10 record. I don't want to talk about the Packers' loss. I just want to be done with week 1 and move on to week 2. Yeah, so that's the end of the show. We got to trash the Packers and the Bears, the entire NFC North. Without taking personal shots at them, though. We're not. Again, we don't do that. We're not.
There's a lot of upside for both. There's a lot of upsides for almost every team.
Pretty much. Yeah, I agree 100%. That's it. Watch some football. Monday Night Football back. I love Monday Night Football. First night, or it's the first game with packed fans, packed house in Allegiant Stadium, the Death Star. Going to be great. I guarantee you, we're going to see a Raiders. We're going to see Darth Vader. Someone's going to dress up as Darth Vader. That just Raiders fans go all out. So, definitely that would be cool. But hey, man, this was fun, and we'll, the NFC North is going to be better next week. We're both going to get wins. I mean, I hope you guys don't, but we're going to get a win. I hope we get a win. I'm not going to speak about my team winning until they actually win, though, because I think I jinxed us last time. But anyway, man, see you back here on Thursday.
Yes, sir.
All right. This is the way. Mandalorian.